let's just dive in, I guess, into the spectacle, everything that was India versus Pakistan at Narendra Modi Stadium. Man, what did you think of this match?
So this was this a Smith, was this a separate match from the World Cup? Because it felt like a it felt quite separate. It had its own opening like ceremony sort of thing, which wasn't televised unfortunately, but apparently there was like it was like a concert beforehand, and
Yeah,
you know
man,
it was very
Arijit Singh, man, dude, the stars were out for this game. You had Arijit Singh, you had Anushka Sharma there, obviously, since Rad's
Sukhwinder was
wife, but
singing as well, and
Sukhwinder was
Sunil
there as well.
Sharma.
What the hell? He was there. Speed. We'll talk about Speed a bit later. He was there
Speed, oh my
too.
god.
International celebrity, man. Like it was popping off, man. And like to me, the spectacle of it. I mean, I haven't seen that. I mean, we've seen obviously at the MCG a lot of crowd, but I haven't seen a crowd like that, especially an Indian crowd. Where the way they designed that stadium, it just looked incredible. Like it looked like a coliseum. Like it was just nuts. And like, well, and I don't know. Did they ever announce the crowd size? Like I don't
I
remember
don't
that
think
during
they
the
announced the
broadcast.
numbers, the official numbers, but they did
It
say it
looked
was
like
about
100,000.
110,000. They said 110,000 approximately.
110,000, and that's nuts. So that's like, legit the biggest crowd for a cricket match I've seen. And it just was like crazy. The spectacle, the noise that was coming out. Obviously, the first part of it was a bit weird, but man, when it came into life, it really did. And it was almost deafening. I don't know how it would have been out there for the players, but it was just nuts.
Yeah, look, I mean, we saw the crowd slowly fill in, which we've seen a trend throughout this tournament so far.
Yeah, I
The
mean, no one wants to
crowd,
arrive on time. What the fuck?
yeah, I don't know. I think security must be really tight. I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
especially for this match. I'll put it.
Yeah, and they're
But
really just taking their time getting everyone in, and everyone gets seated, and gets their little snacks and drinks, and then
yeah,
enjoys the spectacle, which is what they did. So it was quite a spectacle as well.
yeah, and look, I mean, the crowd was awesome. The visual of it all, just like it looked incredible. Unfortunately, like Pakistan wasn't getting the love that they had in Hyderabad. It was
Yeah,
it was a bit of a weird one, right? Like they just I don't know, like they were getting booed at when they were saying Babar Azam's name when the national anthem came on. I mean, this seemed like very much like a nationalist crowd, right? There was a lot of tension there. I mean, for the players, it would have been intimidating. I reckon for
mm,
both teams, I mean, it's only 110,000 people in a cauldron like that. But yeah, it was just a little bit disappointing. I guess there wasn't, that same sort of love for that obviously the team players have. But yeah, yeah. I mean, the crowd wasn't the greatest, but what do you think of it? Like, I mean, they weren't getting the love from as they did in Hyderabad, but it's a bit disappointing.
yeah. To be honest, look, I think every game. I mean, you don't notice it much when it's televised, but when you're there at the ground, I think every game there's people like I mean that happens at every game, right? It's just that at this game there was probably 110,000 Indian fans and probably three Pakistani fans in the stadium, and that's why it felt quite overwhelming with and the stuff that they were saying. But I think every game that you go to, like you expect that sort of stuff anyway. There's a little bit of banter, some of the things they said. Obviously, sometimes they do go over the top, and um, it does get a bit too much. But yeah, what do you reckon? Did you think that it got to a level where it was unacceptable, or do you think it was just like you expect that sort of thing?
I mean, it's just been like a bit of a shock because of how Pakistan's been treated so far, right? They've been given the red carpet and big sort of hospitality that we do in India. But yes, it's this one that was it's a bit hostile. It's a bit different. Like wasn't the
Yeah.
same, but
And
yeah.
I don't know if do you know Pakistani Chacha? I don't think he actually got into the ground because I was looking for him, and then I saw on Twitter there was like something about he was outside the stadium. The next thing he's like in a police van or something. Like I don't know what actually happened there, but I don't think he actually made it into the stadium. I think there was
Oh,
something that
really?
happened.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's busted Chapman. Yeah. Well, that's disappointing. He's one
yeah.
of the biggest fans. Really.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about we know obviously the visa process in India can take some time, and you know, if we forget about the World Cup for a second, like the general process for traveling to India can be time consuming, right? It can take a month, 2 months to get a visa, right? And especially if it's from Pakistan now, there are tensions there,
Yeah.
and if it's from Pakistan, then you can expect that the visa process, unfortunately, would take a lot longer. Yeah, it's disappointing, but what can you do? That's just the sort of the way it is, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's disappointing. But we'll head on to the match itself. Right. The action on the ground. So, I mean, we saw Pakistan. I mean, an awesome start. Quietened the crowd, really. Is what the show might have made a tweet. And we'll talk about that a little later. But like he basically did. Yeah, the crowd seems very quiet. Yeah, at 155 for two,
Well,
um,
I mean,
we
and
were
Ramiz
very
Raja,
quiet.
they were harping on about that quite a lot, actually. When
um,
Pakistan were batting initially.
what's the thing, right? Barber, this is his first half century, I believe, against India. So that was good for him. And Rizwan was there. Rizwan, an early scare. That's all he got, and then he made like I think it was around 30 or 40. Was it? Let's just see. He got 49. So he won out,
49, yeah, 49 of
one away from
69
his century.
balls. And
But
Babar Azam had a 50 or 58. So that
yeah,
was the main partnership in the middle there.
yeah,
They started off pretty well, Pakistan, I got to say.
he's
They were,
yeah. I
the
mean,
wicket that
Mohammed Siraj was getting spanked around the ground. Really, he
yeah,
wasn't starting well, but he came back really well with two
yeah.
wickets.
In his
Uh,
second spell, he bowled really well.
and I
Um,
believe probably the wicket that turned the whole match really was the wicket
yeah.
of Babar Azam. And
And that was the ripper of a ball, I got to
a
say. That
ripper, top of off stump, hit the bails, I believe.
yeah,
And from there, it just commenced the collapse.
yeah.
It were 8 for 36 is what they lost.
8 for 36. Yeah, like that ball. I just going back to that ball because that turned the match, I reckon. That
Yeah,
ball, um, top class, ball that that you're not going to see anything better to a top class batter. Like that's world cricket right there. Like, the best, you got the best ball going towards the best batter, like best batter, but really good batter. Um, and yeah, he got bowled. Like that was just when someone gets bowled, when you watch it live or you watch it as
incredible.
it's
Yeah,
happening, it's just an awesome feeling. You know what I mean? Like as much as you know, you don't want to see like your favorite players get bowled, but just watching anyone get bowled, just when the stumps shatter and the bails go flying, that's just an amazing feeling.
yeah, and it was a beauty from Siraj. I gotta say, it just shows his character, right? Like how he came back from like that early spell of his wasn't great. All the stuff down the leg side. They were just picking them apart. But he came back really well, and with the help of Bumrah, really, I guess, started something that was incredible. Both of them, Siraj and Bumrah, started, and Kuldeep came in with crucial wickets, which of Sol Shakil and Iftikhar. So, I mean, that's their middle order, and that was gone. And
Yeah,
then,
8
yeah,
for 36. And that is a massive collapse. Like you cannot win a game if you lose 8 wickets for 36 runs.
and what do you think happened here? Because, like, at 155 for two, I believe it was off like, must have been 25, 27 overs at that point. Um, what happened here? To me, I reckon it was obviously there's a loss of concentration, but the crowd have to come into this, right? 110,000, mostly Indian fans. Um, the greatness, the grandness of it all, it probably intimidated a lot of the batters out there. I mean, there was a lot of stupid shots. Right? They didn't bat their full 50 Pakistan, and I was scratching my head as to what they were doing. But yeah, what was going on here? I reckon.
Well, there's a lot of complaints, not complaints, but there was a comments about from the players that it's a very slow and sticky type of wicket. So it's not particularly easy to bat, like your typical flat wicket where you can
I thought it
score
was flat,
freely.
to be honest. But
It
yeah,
was quite flat, but they said it was a very sticky sort of wicket. Like the ball was holding up in
yeah.
some of the times, and it wasn't as easy as it looked out there. Um, One criticism in that innings, I guess, I mean, Babar Azam and Rizwan were the only ones who really scored a good partnership there. But one small criticism that I've heard a lot as well from other people is that they didn't really take a risk. Like that, I don't think they hit any sixes at all. They didn't really go for it. They were pushing it around and getting the score up. I assume that they were going to take a risk at some point, but they just lost their wickets, and unfortunately, that just triggered that massive collapse.
Well, that's the thing, right? The risks that they took at the end were kind of stupid, really. That was the wrong time to take the risks. They should have taken it when they were a bit, dominating the game, and but they just couldn't. And it was an all-out performance from India. All the bowlers got 2 wickets each, except for Shardul only bowled 2 overs, but everyone else, 2 wickets each. The Deja bowled very well with Yadav in tandem. And Pandya, there was that moment with Hardik Pandya. I don't know what he was saying to the ball, but the next ball, he got a wicket. That was incredible.
Screaming at it,
I
screaming.
think he was swearing something at it. They wasn't starting to stuff that B word, that BC word. He was doing something at it. I don't know what he was. And it worked.
It worked.
Uh, but
It worked.
yeah, it's Pakistan all out, 191
Yeah.
of 42.5.
Interesting selection though. You were talking about Shardul Thakur. He bowled
Yeah.
2 overs. Was that the right call? They dropped Ashwin instead of Shardul Thakur for that.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean,
on a
I'm
pitch
not really
where you
sold on
think,
Taco. That's
yeah,
the
on a
thing.
pitch where you think Ashwin probably would have done, well, I reckon on that pitch.
Yeah,
Do you think it
Asher
was the
would
right
have done
move?
well. It's just that's the conundrum, I think. So, but I mean, literally, Robert has said it on the day we have to decide it, right? If it's spinning pitch, then we'll go with Ashwin. But if it's not, then it's either Shami or Tucker. But I mean, Tucker only bowling 2 overs. It's a bit, yeah. Did we really need
What was the
him?
point, sort of thing?
Yeah, what was the
Yeah.
point? But yeah,
And
2 overs
interesting you
off at
say that
all.
Rohit decides on the day because I feel like at the toss he just decided on the moment as well because you've got ahead of you a loud Indian crowd, you've got a flat pitch, and he elected to bowl first. Interestingly, worked out to be a
Man,
masterstroke,
what?
but at the time we were scratching our heads.
Well, at 155 for two, I was like, man, this guy has lost his marbles. Why are we bowling on this pitch? Everyone around us as well. We were, at a function watching this, and it was just a lot of people were just like, "What the fuck is Robbie?" We need we need to really get a positive, confident start. Really take the game by the balls, but for some reason, we're bowling first. But it worked out in the end.
Yeah, you were talking about the crowd influence as well. That it might have influenced the Pakistani players, but I feel like the opposite end it influenced the Indian players too because I feel like they lifted, like when the
Yeah,
crowd after the first wicket that took a lot. Sorry, after the Babar Azam wicket, I feel like the crowd really started to push, and that really lifted the Indian players too.
yeah. The crowd became
Um,
a factor, and
yeah, their bowling
110,000.
became a lot tighter as well compared to the
Yeah,
initial, spells. The bowling became really tight, and they weren't giving them anything. And they just,
yeah.
yeah, I feel like positively influenced the Indian team as well.
Yeah, and then obviously Pakistan were all out for 191. Not a great score. Didn't finish their 50. But man, our boy man Rohit, he came out swinging.
Every time we doubt him, he comes out swinging and he scores a valuable,
he
50 or
did. He
80.
did well. I'll give him respect. He did well because I was like, mate, what the energy that he brought to that Afghanistan game, we need that energy for the rest of the other game, the crucial matches, right? Which is what he's been criticized for before that. In the crucial matches, he doesn't turn up. But man, he really turned up in this one. 86 of 63, 6 4s and 6 6s. He just smacked it around, and some of those sixes were massive. The ones that went into that he hooked, they were insane. Like really, like they looked incredible.
100%. Like some of the sound that was coming off the bat when he was hitting
Yeah,
those sixes. Oh, it was so sweet. If Rohit brings that energy for the rest of the tournament, I'll be happy. Like, if,
Yeah, I
I like
mean,
Rohit
that
Sharma when he goes for it, like, and even if he gets out every now and then going for it, I'm okay with that, right? But the
yeah,
way he's been getting out, like he's just sort of leaving off stump and he's leaving the ball or he's trying to defend like in an awkward position. I
yeah,
really don't like that. If Rohit gets out swinging, like that's what you want to see. Sort of like a Virender Sehwag type. Remember when Sehwag
yes, yeah,
used to get out? People
yeah,
used to forgive him because the guy would take a full-blooded swing and then, he'd get caught or whatever,
yeah,
but he's going for it, right? That's what you want to see.
yeah. And Roy, it's in good touch. It's an incredible touch actually. And then another person, mate, Shubman Gill, two
Wow,
days ago was in the hospital losing
mate,
platelets. He came out. I mean, monster effort to be in the field to hold that like for 40 overs and then come out. But I noticed that he wasn't really talking to anyone,
you
so
could
he
tell he
looked like
was,
he was sick still. But he was
yeah,
trying his best, and unfortunately, he got out for 16. But he was looking good before he got out.
yeah. And some of the shots he played were beautiful as well. But yeah, I mean, dengue, like, it does take time to recover.
Yeah,
Um, and I feel like he wasn't 100%, but
no, no.
he probably felt fit enough. And the management felt he was fit enough to actually go out there, and they took a chance. And I feel like he needs to go out there. He needs to play. He needs to get his fitness up again. Like that's the
Well, hopefully,
best
he
way
can
to do
rest
it.
a bit now for a couple of days for
Yeah.
Bangladesh. But yeah, he did really well. And obviously, yeah, Virat got out, unfortunately, for 16 as well. A
So at this
shot that
point,
was not needed, really.
yeah, even Rohit Sharma, I got to say that was a pretty useless shot. But
Yeah, it was
um,
nothing short. Yeah,
when I think they were 155 for two as well, or something like that, right?
yeah,
And Samit mentioned when we were watching the match. Samit mentioned to me, "Hey, isn't this when Pakistan started collapsing?" And I was
yeah.
like, "Yeah." And then as soon as he said that, India lost a wicket, and I smacked Samit. I was
We got,
like, "Be quiet!" I was like,
and then
"Oh
we
my
got to
god, that is."
156 or 3. But
If they collapsed as well, I mean, it would have been entertaining, but I would have been
yeah,
heartbreaking.
but
But yeah,
what I thought was very good was Shreyas Iyer getting 50. Now,
yes,
Shreyas Iyer, I'm a big fan of his. I think he's a really good batter um, who hasn't shown completely what he can do yet. And we've seen him hit sixes and stuff, and his 50 was great. But it was much needed because he is very crucial in that middle order. And
yeah, and
he plays an important
100%.
role. So
Yeah, look, I got
if he's getting runs, that means good things for the middle order.
yeah, you got to give kudos to Shreyas and KL Rahul
Yeah,
in that innings that they've played. And Shreyas really like that's the role that he's been given. Like he's
yeah,
got to come in when a few wickets are down, 3 to 4 wickets, and consolidate and continue the innings as well, which he has done. And I think each match obviously has their own situation, like different situations, but he came in at a point where it could have gone either way. And he solidified the innings and kept scoring. It didn't go at a blistering pace, but that's not what he's there for, right? If
yeah,
they wanted someone to go at a blistering pace, I reckon they would have sent Pandya in. But
yeah.
he would really consolidate, and he did, and he calmed the nerves, and took India home.
Yeah, and yeah, took India home. We got it in 30 overs, which obviously helped our net run rate. But yeah, man of the match, just been doing well. I mean, we didn't talk about him, but he's unplayable at this point of his career, I believe. If you're a batter facing Jasprit Bumrah, good luck because he is, to me, his bowling is unplayable, and it's showing his stats. 2 for 19. I mean, 2.71 economy. How does any team face him now?
Right. In the beginning, if you go back to the beginning of the innings, um, where Siraj was struggling, you look at the other end, Bumrah was killing it.
Yeah,
His positioning of the ball, his placement of the ball, and like it was very difficult for the batters to get him away. I think he was at one point like only 5 runs or something after like 4 overs or so. Like he had given,
yeah,
like he was bowling that tight. It was very difficult to get him away. Um, and coming back from injury, um, the two players that have come back from injury that are here, like Jasprit Bumrah and KO Rahul, they
yeah,
have done really well. Like we had our doubts initially. Samit, do you remember
yeah,
before the tournament? even started, like especially with KL Rahul, will he be able to pick up the pace and will he be able to just come back in without a lot of match practice and do his
Yeah.
role? He's done it so far really well.
Yeah, KL Rahul is excelling in that middle order. It's been made like, I mean, he used to open, and there's a lot of problems with swinging ball. But man, that middle order role where he just sort of, if we lose a couple of wickets, he's there. He's very stable, reminding me sort of what Rahul Dravid used to be in our middle order, right? Well, he's doing well, and man of the match performance of Jasprit, really well done, and man, what a match! It was incredible. It could have. I mean, it was a bit one-sided, but obviously we can give him that leeway after the incredible match that there was last year, the T20 World Cup. So but yeah, I guess I mean, we could meet them in the final, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we'll move on to some comments actually that were made about this after this match.
Before we move on to that topic, Samir, I just wanted to say as well, if we do meet them in the finals, that'll be great. That'll be an awesome match. But for now, it's 8-0.
8-0. Yes, it is. Yep. And